Unbelievable! This is a disgrace. I can't even believe it!
Who's this Chuck?
Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion, your host, the Hut, and unfortunately, I'm here today to talk about the New York Mets lost last night to the Padres. It was a tough loss. That was, I'm telling you, I didn't do a video last night because it was very upsetting to me, and I don't like it when the Mets lose and they're good, but the Mets lost and they're good. Just to sort of go through a couple things, the Mets only had 2 losing series this whole entire year, but the 2 teams, the Padres and the Braves. I knew going into the series on Friday that the Mets are going to have a tough time with the Padres. Padres have good pitching, and some of their, their sort of role players killed them. Profar killed them. Griston killed them. Cronenworth, who was actually very quiet, usually kills them. But these guys really did a good job on the Mets along the way this weekend. They played good defense. It's been a very difficult 12 hours. I'll leave it at that for you. I think we all know. And it is very much like what Scherzer said, kicking the balls. Because the past 2 weeks, everything that the Mets built their team around did not come through. Scherzer didn't pitch well at all. DeGrom did not pitch well in Atlanta. He gave up 3 home runs, as you know. He pitched good on Saturday. He pitched the old Jacob DeGrom, which means that he was gutty. He was able to get through the game, kept the Mets in the game to where the Met offense was able to sort of push the Padres bullpen. The Mets, going forward, I'll have another video on the Mets, what they're going to do for 2023 later. But, like I said, the pitching did not come through. Other than the one game that DeGrom pitched on Saturday, the other 5 games that were pitched for the Mets from Scherzer, DeGrom, and Bassett were hideous. It was about as bad as you could possibly get. Scherzer, I don't know if he's still dealing with that injury. He probably is. I mean, the way they were talking about it on last week on Fox, it seems like he's still dealing with this injury. DeGrom, I guess he was dealing with the blister, but not for nothing. DeGrom did not pitch well in September, so he just didn't have good stuff. He just wasn't able to put these batters away like he normally does. He just didn't have it in September. The A's start was very troubling in Oakland, and really it just sort of been this weird feeling around the Mets over the last 2 or 3 weeks that this wasn't going to happen. I had a bad feeling on Saturday going into the game because it's just I just didn't feel it, It's sort of my feeling of confidence about it. And really, they didn't hit. I mean, to be honest with you. No matter what kind of seasons Lindor and Alonso had, they had great seasons. But the last month was was not consistent. And when they needed them to hit, in 5 of the 6 games, they didn't hit at all. They had a good game 2 against the Padres on Saturday, but it just wasn't enough. They needed to do more. We'll go through this at some point, but I feel like this team's a little short in this lineup. Obviously, they need another bat in this lineup, another big bat. I have to look through it, do things, and see who will be available in the offseason. But anyway, that's for another video. But really, it really comes down to lack of situational hitting. They went through the numbers last night, and really on Friday, how poorly the Mets hit with men in scoring position. That has improved from last year. It was horrendous last year, but obviously it regressed the past month, and they need to improve upon that going forward. But those are the kinds of things that really led to, and this wasn't really a collapse. It just sort of, these other teams outplayed them over the last 2 weeks. It's as simple as that. The Padres outplayed the Mets last night and this weekend. The Braves outplayed them last week. But this is the first good step on the process of winning the championship. It doesn't happen all at once with these teams. And this is just another step on, another stepping stone. When you talk about stepping stones, this was a stepping stone season. Next year, they probably won't win 100 games. But they might be a better team. Being able to they might have a better chance to sort of take the next step. But we'll get into that as the offseason begins now for us. And this is a tough pill to swallow for me. So it's weird. I didn't want the Mets to play the Padres because I knew how poorly they had played against them during the regular season. Mets do not, and they don't have a good history against the Padres, specifically in San Diego. They always play poorly in San Diego. So I was very concerned that they were going to go up against a team that a lot of these sort of Met killers sort of hang around. San Diego, Pittsburgh, and just sort of Pittsburgh as an example. But so I didn't have a good feeling about the Mets going into the series. It had less really to do with how they played over the last month, and more about the Padres specifically and the Mets' history against them specifically. Some teams don't match up well against other teams. And obviously the Padres matched up very well against the Mets. Everything that was said about the Padres, they flipped the script on the Mets. They hit fastballs, they hit home runs. The tempo was very different with Darvish on Friday. Now, I would mention this about Musgrove. I didn't have a problem with Buck going out there and asking the umpires to look at his clothing and his ears and all that. He probably should have done it earlier in the game, especially since that Buck was looking at those baseballs in the first inning. He should have just said, you know what, just go out there and look at him, and that would have been a more appropriate time. I think by the time he sent the umpires out there, I think the cat was already out of the bag. I don't think the Mets were the momentum was already gone. So he probably should have done it earlier. Was he cheating? I didn't see anything specifically. I know there's some videos popping up here and there, but I didn't think that even there I saw anything specific. The Mets just got beat last night, and that's it. You tip your cap to him, and that's it. Well, let me know what you think about this video. A little bit longer than usual. And, of course, please subscribe. We're going to have a good off-season. We're going to have a very busy off-season, I can tell you that. I knew that kind of going in anyway. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.